Hi, welcome back to this week's On the Run with Coach Nick. I'm Coach Nick. You'll have to excuse me for this week's video. I'm pretty tired, pretty worn out from the ultra marathon yesterday. It was a good race, and it was pretty triumphant for myself. Kind of putting the exclamation point on, I hate saying the words comeback or this is my comeback, but my Lyme disease journey has been a long one and a very tough one, and it's almost 3 years in the making. So completing that ultra yesterday in the amount of time that was allowed with the distance that I did, I felt really good about myself and felt really empowered to see how far I've come. But I guess the one thing I do want to talk about is training cycles. A lot of us just came off of our half marathon or even our marathon training cycle, and it is equally as important to take that time off after that cycle. Equally as important as much as it is for the training cycle itself. The arguing rule of thumb is you're supposed to take a day off for every mile or of the race that you completed. Some people say, well, if it was a marathon, you can split it in half and take, the 13 or 14 days off. I myself just came off of, 50 miles, and I probably can't take 25 days off, even though that's probably what I need to. I'm definitely going to be taking a solid 2 weeks off. But when you go through a hard cycle, and especially if you're going to PR or that's your goal is to PR, you just need the recovery. Taper takes you so far, gets you ready for the race. Well, the after race cycle break is what gets you ready for the next cycle. A lot of people just get stuck in a perpetual cycle of, again, a training cycle right into another training cycle, right into another training cycle. And when you start adding those things together, that equation, it always equals injury. So what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 weeks is taking it easy. I got a 3-mile walk in this morning to kind of loosen the legs up from all the work that I put in yesterday, but I will probably get a very short run in a couple days once I can start getting some feeling back in my legs, because all they are now is big lead weights. But I did a long Epsom salt bath last night. I went to the massage bed today, spent a couple sessions on there, making sure my protein intake is up, making sure that I'm going to eat some good carbs. I burned 7,700 calories yesterday in my day, and I don't necessarily need to rush and run and replace those. That's one of the traps that we fall into is the hunger. The hunger is real. We just depleted our bodies, and our body wants to get that back, and what ends up is a pendulum where you lost all those calories and then you want to replace them all, and your body says, we need them. And then you swing back, and then you end up overeating, and then you end up feeling like shit. And then you gain all this weight back and gain weight and everything else. So everything in moderation except rest, protein intake, hydration. Those are probably the key. Making sure you get some really good sleep. So anyway, I know this video was short, and if you have any questions, as always, drop in a comment below. I want to thank everybody for the messages, the snaps, the texts yesterday, for the words of encouragement. It meant a lot. It was a pretty tough race, and I had my eyes on the prize. I want to thank Ashley for trekking there with me, for being my pit crew, for doing my bidding and beck and call, and bringing me Coke when I needed it, and that pickle juice shot when I needed it, and just for making my race happen. I wouldn't have not been able to get my time if it hadn't been for an awesome pit crew. And yeah, so Have a good week, everybody. Love the mile you're in. I loved all 50 of them that I was in yesterday. Some of them were a little teary-eyed, some were a little smiling, some were a little down, but we'll get through it. We always do. So have a great week.